Everyone, it's Connor here from Durham Hearing Specialists. I hope you're doing well and welcome to another video. We've had a number of requests asking for a behind the scenes video so I can showcase some of the equipment that we use in clinic, and I'm in clinic today. So I thought I would show you, the first thing I would show you is the endoscopes that I use, which is obviously the instrument that you're seeing in these videos, which allows me to look inside the body. And that's what an endoscope is essentially. It's a device that allows you to look inside something, a cavity of the body. And as you can imagine, it's derived from Greek. So endo means within in Greek, and then scope or skopos means to look out at something or target something. So endoscope is to look within something. And the endoscopes that I have a couple. So these are the ones that I'm currently using. And as you can imagine, they're short and stubby, not like the sort of long endoscopes that you would use for other types of surgery or examination. So these are nice and convenient for ears because the distal portion or the rod of the endoscope is short. You can hold it however you want, like that or like that, but you can still make contact with the patient's face with your hand, so that if the patient kind of moves towards you, the endoscope won't ram down and puncture the eardrum, which would be a disaster. So it allows you to take up a braced position. So this endoscope here is my old one, which I've had for quite some time. And I got this off a colleague of mine who I do some training for. And it's a pretty good endoscope. So this particular one I use for all my old videos. So if you go way back at some of the first videos that I published, you'll notice that the black circle with the image inside, it sometimes has a notch to the left. And that's a sign that I'm using the old one, essentially. So that little notch there is quite common amongst endoscopes. And it just, as you're watching the footage, it allows you to see how the clinician at the time was holding the endoscope, so what the orientation is. But this is a 0-degree endoscope. If it was a 30-degree or a 20-degree or whatever, that would mean that the endoscope is not showing you directly what's in front of the rod, but it's showing you at an angle, so you can look up. And that's more common for sort of middle ear surgery and that kind of thing. But it's a pretty good endoscope. Again, very, very powerful light source here. You will typically find that with these devices, whether it's a microscope or surgical glasses, loupes or anything like that, the light source is what's eye-wateringly expensive. And there we go. And with these type of endoscopes, the eyepiece is often, in terms of dimensions, quite similar amongst all endoscopes. And what you can do is you can attach on here various different cameras. So you can attach phones on here. You can get special adapters for phones, iPods, and so on. Or you can get special adapters to put HD cameras on the back. So you can get these sort of small little square cameras. They look like GoPros, but again, they can record in HD. So lots of different functionalities and bits and pieces that you can attach on to an endoscope. But so this is the old one. And this is the one that I use nowadays. So I got this one off Neil Reitetar, actually. So if you know him, I went to see him in his Leicester clinic and I bought this off him. And this is also the one that he uses in his videos, and also I think Reese uses this one as well. But similar configuration, and again, the light source is incredibly powerful, but it comes with this nice little sort of rubber adapter here, or adapter, holder, however you want to call it. And all the batteries are rechargeable, as you can see. So again, incredibly powerful light source here. And I'll screw that back on. So the rubber adapter is a nice little feature, actually, which the old one does not have. But I'll screw that back on. There we go. So there we go. This one actually has two settings, so you can go with a dim light here, slightly dimmer light, or if you click it again, it'll go to a more powerful light. And again, the dimensions of the eyepiece are very, very similar to the old one, so it can fit lots and lots of different cameras and adapters and things. The only difference, however, and this is why I tend to use this one more now than the old one, is that the distal portion of the endoscope, the actual rod, is considerably and noticeably smaller on this one. So if I hold them up, so this is the old one, this is the new one. So if I hold them together, hopefully you'll see that there is quite a noticeable difference between the size. So it's a very small, well, it may appear to you as very small, but again, because the ear canal is so incredibly tiny, and you're working in a very small space, every 0.1 of a millimeter counts. And with the old one, I often found that I was running out of room a lot of the time, and the keen eye amongst you might notice that you might see some chop sticking when I'm using the old one in the old videos. And chop sticking is, to a degree, quite dangerous. And chop sticking is basically where there's not enough space in the ear, and as you're moving the suction probe around, it quickly kind of flicks around the endoscope, so it's a very quick movement. So for example, if this is the suction tube here, as you're suctioning and suctioning away, I'll try and get close up here, suctioning away, because the endoscope is taking up so much room, if you want to move past the endoscope, you kind of get this. See that? And which is not ideal. So I never get any chop sticking with the new endoscope, because there's enough working room essentially, and the image quality is different, but it's just as good, I would say. So there we go. Those are the two endoscopes that I use, in amongst various other gadgets and so on and so forth. But there we go. So I hope you found this behind the scenes video interesting. And if you like it, I'll do more. I'll do some videos on the various tools that I've not shown in any other videos. But thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. And as always, I will see you on the next video.